What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 5th day of August, the 5th already, and here we are at about $115,000 with 22 hours, 44 minutes left in this brand new day here. We did end up pumping on Monday and not dumping on Monday. We had a little bit of a fake out to the downside. I was anticipating that we'd go lower, and I do want to say it is still possible that we go lower, but we did get the day to close above 115K, which was one of the criteria that I had for us absolving ourselves of going lower to about 113.7K. So it's very possible that we don't go down there anymore. But something that we should still be aware of is we could have a pullback. We could clear out some of these long positions here that have piled on over the past day. Let's refresh this. I think it's different than what it looks like now. Yeah, some of these long positions down there at about 113, 113.5, somewhere in that area. If you look at the 7-day period, there's a nice little wave of long liquidations here. And typically, you know, whenever you see stuff like this, you can eat all that. And then once you get to the big wall, that's kind of protected. So that even takes you down to 112K. I'm not saying that we have to go through all this. I don't think that we're going to go to 112K itself, but I'm just saying there are longs. There is literally about $1 billion worth of longs going down to 113K that would be liquidated. So it's very possible. Something that we should keep in mind. But I do believe that this is a very good look here, what we did yesterday. A little bit of a wick to the upside, but still a very good look because overall what we did, again, regardless of the short-term bearishness or whatever, you know, maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. Low to high, we closed below the 382. We closed above it the very next day, got a bullish engulfing candle, and we got continuation. I mean, and with that, we closed back above where this low was here, which I think is significant to some degree, right? And if we're looking at this here from a high to a low, is that even, where is that? Not at your 382 yet, but with how far above your 236 you are, I would at least expect that you are going, Bitcoin is going to about $116.1 thousand, the 382 or higher before it sees any kind of a pullback. So now the pullback that's in question, I would say, is actually more likely to hold up at about 114.5K right here at this 236, this level right here. It is still possible that we could return down to the 382, the 069, something down there at about, you know, anything from 112.6 to 113K itself, something in that area, or anything and everything in between. But I do think at this point in time, just looking at the charts, you know, taking this fib out of the equation, it would be more probable to go all the way up to the 382, which is at about 116.10K or 116.1K. Let's see, I guess 0.10, 0.1 is the same thing. Let's see what the short-term stuff looks like, and then we'll come back out to this. You know, maybe we take a little bit of a dip to start off the day. It looks like we're doing that already, but I would expect that we continue to move up because even though there are some longs to liquidate to the downside, there's a mountain of shorts, you guys, to clear. There is an absolute mountain all the way up to about 120, 123K really if we look at the 30-day time frame. I mean, we're just getting into it here. Once we get to 120, it really gets crazy. And then all the way up to 124K, $16 billion, $17 billion worth of shorts overall to liquidate. So there's definitely more incentive to move the markets to the upside as far as taking money from market participants goes. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour time frame here. The MACD in itself, overall bullish posturing. You know, your bullish ticks are kind of weaning, I would say. You do have lower highs in your 1 hour MACD, and you do have higher highs here. I guess that is bearish divergence. Lower highs. You've got lower highs both on the oscillator and on the histogram. So that is bearish divergence. Perhaps what we do is we come down and we skim the zero. Being on the 1 hour time frame, again, that's not going to promote a significant drop at all. Oh, you know, talking about this too. We did do what I was saying we would do earlier. We just didn't go, well, I shouldn't say we did what I said we were going to do. We just did part of it, which was we went below this trend line, but we went just below it. I mean, I did say that we'd go just below it, but man, I didn't think that we'd go just below it. This kind of reaction here, that reaction there in the 1 hour, that should have told you that this break below was off the table. That moving below that was off the table. Oftentimes I do say, if and whenever you find support at these kind of trend lines, it's oftentimes that you don't find support at it, but just below it, that's the best time to buy. I just didn't think, when I say just below, I didn't think that it would be that just below. I thought it'd be just a little bit lower. And perhaps we still do go down lower, you guys. We started building without a whole lot of volume. In fact, a lot of volume came in on the selling candle here. There was no volume at all on these moves up. And if we're looking at this here, you've got a higher high right here, higher highs throughout all of this. You'd have bearish divergence in both forms on the MACD, on the histogram, and on the oscillators. You also, I wouldn't say this is bearish divergence. Yes. You've got a high here, and it's a lower high here with a lower high here. Yes. You've got higher highs in the price. I don't know if I'd call that bearish divergence, but it'll have the same meaning, the same effect, because you're rejecting the overbought zone, finding support at the 50, making another run, but you're getting weaker readings each time. That does make me think that you want to see some weaker readings in the RSI. Does this mean that we get oversold? Does this mean that we're going to see a lower low? I'm not anticipating that. I don't think we go below this low. I'm very confident at this point in time that this is the low, especially with the reaction we've had. But looking at the 1 hour time frame, and it's a brand new day, we could close today green and still move down the first 12 hours, or more, maybe not the first 12 hours altogether, or maybe altogether, but not in a row. Maybe in a row, who knows? But we could move, all I'm trying to say, we could move down the first 18 hours and then come up the end of the day and finish the day green. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that today has to close red just because the 1 hour is bearish, but it does, to me, the RSI, the MACD in combination looks bearish. The stochastics, getting overbought, bouncing off the 50 is good, getting overbought again, but now you're bouncing off the 50 without getting overbought. You've kind of shifted to this lower low, lower high seeming trend. I would think you're going to get into the oversold zone. So I would anticipate between now and the coming hours, to start this day, the first half of the day at the very least would be bearish. So if the first half of the day is bearish, where are we going to go? That's the question, right? And if we're taking this from a low here to a high there, something that comes up right to mind would be about 114.2K, something right there. Maybe 113.3K, 113,000 itself, something in this area. Support, anything and everything in between is fair game. Bitcoin does like its 0.5. It normally doesn't, but man, this whole cycle it's actually shown a lot of respect at its 0.5. Did we show respect on it on this one here? I don't think we did. No, 236. It's been showing a lot of respect on its 236 lately too, to be completely fair. I mean, here you're doing it right now, but I think you're going to break through. If we do get below 114.2K, same rules apply, right? 1 hour that closes below here would indicate that we go to the 0.5 or the golden ratio. If we get 1 hour to close below and then the next hour closes above, we're moving up higher. But at this point in time, just looking at this reaction, looking at the indicators, I would be surprised if we bounced here. I would think that we do move lower. But 37 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. What about the 15-minute time frame? MACD is probably useless. I mean, you're at an area to bounce. Stochastics look like they're at an area to bounce. RSI is the only thing that looks bearish right now, but we've got 7 minutes left in this 15-minute time frame. Let's see how it goes. I don't know. Something about it. I don't know how to feel. I feel like it is bearish, personally, but time will tell. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame here. 4 hour is at an area to reject, right? We found resistance at this area before, a little bit above it, before, right there, all in this same kind of area, right? You just drag a line across, more or less. It's little deviations here and there. But more or less right here at this area we have found resistance. This doesn't mean that we have to go to the oversold zone, anything like that. Maybe it does, but I would think something more on the lines of 60 to the 40 and then up. It's pretty common behavior actually, right? 60 to the 40 and then up. Look, you bounce off the 40 here. I bet you were at the 60 before. Well, pretty damn close. 60 down to the 40. And maybe we go up, maybe we don't, but I would at least expect down to the 40. Again, nothing crazy. Something like this could promote a move down to 114K, 114.2, just below 114K. We don't have to go down all the way to 113K, but it depends, because this is really dependent on the closing period, the closing price. So on a 4 hour candle, if we wicked all the way down here, but then came up and closed right here, that 4 hour RSI would still only bounce off the 60, you know what I mean? So it doesn't account for the wicks. It just accounts for the closing price. MACD, looking bullish, looking very bullish right now, but you're at an area where you need to persist higher, essentially. You can dilly-dally a little bit. You can slow a little bit, but you don't want a rejection here. You don't want to see the price tank from here, because if we reject off the 0 on the MACD, that's just not a good look, you guys. We want to cross above the 0 with these oscillators. So a little bit of stalling Okay, that's okay. You know, we can stall here, whatever, and give that look like we're going to reject, but then cross back up later. Maybe today, Tuesday, is just a kind of neutral day, and then Wednesday or late Tuesday is the time frame that we would be looking to move up. I don't know. You know, time will tell. We do have 2 hours and 15 minutes left in this 4-hour candle here. The stochastics are bullish, but you do have bearish divergence. And again, you're at a rejection point on the RSI as well, so I would think that we move lower. Daily time frame, also, of course, you are at this prior area of support. Could be finding resistance here on a closing basis. On a wicking basis, you're also wicking right to that prior area of support, finding resistance there. And then high to low, the only thing is you're just not quite at that 382. And in all fairness, it's actually more bearish to skim the 382, but this move is so immature at this point in time. It hasn't had a whole lot of time to develop. I think that it would be improper to judge this as a miss of the 382. Yes, clearly you've missed the 382 right now. But what you could come down today, close here, and then the next day you move up. You're not really missing the. It's all part of the same move. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. So, all that to say, my friends, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I think we have plenty of reasons to move up. I full-heartedly expect that we will move up. I think that we will see targets that are at 126K, 130K, all the way up to 140K. That's ultimately where I think the next stop is, and we should see that between now and the next couple of weeks by the end of August, absolutely. But first, today, we might move down, you know, that just a little bit. I don't know if today would be a red day. That's not necessarily what I'm saying, but don't get scared if we see some kind of intense shakeout, right? I very much believe this is the bottom. Bitcoin's going to do everything in its power to convince people that there's more reasons to go short, and it's going to have intense dumps, and then we recover. We recover just as intensely or a little bit slower, and then eventually continue moving higher. I think that if not today, then tomorrow we should be resuming moving up. I think later today we should be resuming moving up. Today's going to be a bounce day, but in order to bounce, you have to drop first. So that's my idea. I've got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Shout out to the person who, I forget what his YouTube comment or his YouTube handle is, but he said, "What's the purpose of making Bitcoin videos daily or even twice a day? Like, it doesn't need to be updated this much." I don't know who you are, man. But in the land of C-Zar, this is my channel, and I can do whatever the hell I want. That's if I want to talk about Bitcoin 7 times a day, I'm going to do it. I think it's relevant, man. I think it's very relevant to talk about it. You know, we talk about it twice a day because things can change. Things can change rather rapidly, both in the news and in the price action itself. And Bitcoin's kind of the captain of the ship whenever it comes to this crypto markets, you guys. If me making videos twice a day on Bitcoin is too much for you, you can tune in once a week. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, only watch the Bitcoin videos that say Bitcoin long-term analysis, because I make those every now and then, you know, but the daily videos are there for a reason. I think it's good. It's not just good because we have a better understanding of where the price is going. Hopefully that's the idea. But also I think it's good because I know there are a lot of you out there that watch this stuff for the sake of kind of learning some TA, some technical analysis, right? I know a lot of you are interested in the price action and stuff, and you don't really care about the TA. You'll let me drive the boat as far as that goes, and you'll hear me out. But there's a lot of you who I'm very aware you learn best kind of the same way that I learn, which is just through repetition, seeing somebody do it, right? And there's so much to explain. I'm not the best at explaining things, but whenever I'm in practice doing this, it gives people an opportunity to just see where my head's at, what I look at, how I derive this stuff, and who am I. But I've been doing this for 9.5 years. I'm not an expert. I'm not a master of this, right? But this is literally what I do for fun. I mean, this is like, I don't know what it is, man, but whenever I first found out about charting, I'm like, this is what I want to do with my life. This is it. This is what I want to do. They said in my whole life, they said, whenever you find the thing that you're meant to do or that you want to do, you'll just know. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I want to be a quadrillionaire. I want to be a rock star, you know, like whatever. And I still want to be those things. But this just felt right in my heart, man. And for those of you who feel that same way, this is kind of that mystical door opening for you. That's like, wow, TA, you don't have someone to teach you. I'm not a teacher, but watching how I do it and how I explain it, hopefully you're getting something out of that. And then some entertainment too, you know. We get to talk, check in. Everything's good. Say hi to Mufasa and Rafiki sometimes. I don't know. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care. And again, I will talk about whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. Because damn it, I live in America. And this is a free country and it's my channel. And yeah. Who are you? Take care. Bye-bye.